This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Tristan Hildebrand coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Tuesday, February 10th. The Hong Kong Outlanders rally outside of Taiwan's legislature this Tuesday in support of Jimmy Lai. President Lai Ching-te invites the heads of Taiwan's 5 government branches to a tea gathering, and Vice President Xiaobi Kim congratulates Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi and comments on Japan-Taiwan exchanges. But first, today's top story. The Hong Kong Outlanders civic group rallied outside of Taiwan's legislature this Tuesday in support of media tycoon and Apple Daily founder Jimmy Lai, who has been sentenced to 20 years in prison in his national security trial. The Hong Kong court found Lai guilty of collusion and sedition last December and handed down the sentence this Monday. This is their heaviest sentence since the national security law took effect and could mean the 78-year-old Lai will spend the remainder of his life behind bars. The group, who are mainly Hong Kongers living in Taiwan, condemned the Chinese government's repression of freedom. Group member Fu Teng said the verdict is a cruel, politically motivated punishment against someone who devoted his life to Hong Kong's democratic movement. Fu said Lai embodies the reason why China's authoritarian rulers fear those who pursue freedom and democracy. Hong Kong Outlanders chairman Sky Feng said,
"As long as Taiwan's democratic system and diverse voices continue to exist, they are seen by China as a threat. Taiwan is not treated as an ordinary foreign country, but as a long-term, highly politicized target, so any connection with Taiwan itself could be considered a crime."
Feng emphasized that this case places media operations, financial dealings, and external communications within the framework of dividing the nation, meaning that any journalistic cooperation, academic exchange, or policy dialogue involving Taiwan could be defined as manipulation by external forces. This, he said, also further compresses the space for Taiwan's public discourse, democracy, and freedom. President Lai Ching-te has invited the heads of Taiwan's 5 government branches to a tea gathering after the Lunar New Year, aimed at improving communication as a long-stalled defense spending bill continues to face a legislative deadlock. The 8-year defense special budget, totaling 1.25 trillion NT dollars or $40 billion has been stuck in the legislature since being proposed by the cabinet, drawing concern from the United States. Legislative Speaker Han Kuo-yu told reporters on Saturday that President Lai may invite the 5 branch heads to meet during the Lunar New Year holiday. Han said he would formally suggest to the president that the gathering be used to explore ways to ease partisan tensions. Presidential office spokesperson Karen Kuo said Sunday night that Lai sincerely hopes the 5 branches can strengthen communication and work together to address public concerns. She confirmed that the invitations have been extended for a tea gathering after the Lunar New Year holiday, but said scheduling would depend on the officials' availability. Kuo said Taiwan is currently facing multiple domestic and international challenges and that the country is united despite political parties holding different positions. She said the presidential office hopes the gathering can help turn differences into consensus and ensure smoother constitutional governance. Residents of Yuanlin in Changhua County set up a furniture matching area outside of a public housing complex, allowing residents the opportunity to exchange rather than discard old furniture.
The weekend ahead of the Lunar New Year is prime time to do some spring cleaning. To take advantage of the large furniture items some families no longer need, the Yuanlin City Cleanup Crew in Changhua organized an area where large items like sofas, bed frames, and desks could be matched to new owners. The exchange was only open for one day this past Sunday. People arrived early in the morning to get first pick. One resident took a large bathtub home, not to use for bathing, but to keep fish. Another man took home a lightly used mahjong table, saying it would be perfect for game time with the family during the new year. Solid wood chairs in good condition were another good find from the lot. This furniture exchange not only reduced the burden of handling large furniture on sanitation workers, but also allowed these items to extend their service life, ringing in a more eco-friendly Year of the Horse. Hannah Belinsky for RTI News.
Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party won in a landslide this week, securing a supermajority of the 465-member House of Representatives. Taiwan's Vice President Xiaobi Kim, attending a Japan-Taiwan Exchange Association event this Monday, commented on bilateral relations and expressed anticipation for further cooperation. Xiao said Taiwan and Japan's friendship has long transcended geographical distance, having evolved into a close spiritual bond. The friendship is built on deep mutual trust and shared values, she noted, saying that people-to-people exchanges, disaster relief, and economic and trade cooperation continue strengthening. The vice president pointed out that Taiwan deeply understands that peace relies on strength as it faces regional challenges. Therefore, she explained, Taiwan will continue to increase its defense budget and strengthen its defense resilience, demonstrating its firm determination to safeguard sovereignty and democracy. Xiao congratulated Prime Minister Takaichi in her speech and in interviews, stating that the strong public support Takaichi has received affirms her outstanding leadership. The vice president said,
Prime Minister Takaichi has long been very supportive of Taiwan and friendly towards Taiwan. I believe this will create new opportunities and strengthen the relationship between Taiwan and Japan. In the future, regardless of the various challenges facing the region, including the Japanese government's reaffirmation of the importance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, we look forward to both sides further deepening cooperation in various fields.
Japanese representative to Taiwan Kazuyuki Karayama also spoke at the event. He emphasized Taiwan's importance to Japan and expressed hope that the two would create an irreplaceable Japan-Taiwan partnership amid unstable international circumstances. An old Lunar New Year tradition has returned to Zhanghua's Nanyao Temple, pitting devotees against one another to be the first to light an incense offering for Mazu.
In the past, as soon as the Nanyao Temple gates opened for the first time on the Lunar New Year, people would rush to the incense burner to be the first to offer incense. However, as the event often led to people pushing, falling, or even knocking over the incense burner, the temple changed the event to a proper race in 2021. What was once a short sprint was changed to a 700-meter race that saw competitors showing up in costume. After arriving at the temple plaza, elders lead everyone in worship, allowing everyone to share in the honor of lighting the first incense. Due to the temple's large-scale centennial renovation and limited space in the plaza, the event had to be suspended for the past 2 years. Now that restoration is complete, the temple has officially announced the return of the race this Lunar New Year's Eve, February 16th. Temple officials hope to prevent any further damage to the stone dragon pillars, which had previously been broken by collisions during the scramble to light the incense. The new race is safer, more enjoyable, and allows everyone who participates to receive Mazu's blessing in the new year. Hannah Belinsky for RTI News.
A Wall Street Journal analysis says China's 5% growth target is no longer an economic goal, but a political mandate.
According to an analysis published by the Wall Street Journal, the number has become a, quote, political straitjacket, binding Beijing to a figure that must be maintained regardless of actual economic reality. The warning was first voiced publicly by Chinese economist Gao Shanwen, who said that no matter how severe conditions become, China's official growth rate would always remain near 5%. For 3 consecutive years, China has reported growth around 5%, even as the economy faces a deep property sector downturn, persistent inflationary pressure, and Western efforts to reduce reliance on Chinese manufacturing. The article describes this consistency as a statistical anomaly, one sustained by political will. At the center of the pressure is Xi Jinping's long-term pledge. In 2020, Xi declared that by 2035, China would double both its economic output and per capita income. Meeting that goal requires average annual growth close to 5%. A senior Chinese policy advisor quoted in the article says the target now serves as a measure of the Communist Party's legitimacy, not merely economic performance. Joey Chow for RTI News.
Thank you for joining me for the news. I'm Tristan Hildebrand. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.